The discovery of natural, historical and cultural beauty of its place is a long, delightful and interesting journey into the eternal time of myths, history and scientific aspect of that place. A story of the Greek mythology says Oceanus and Tethys, who was united with him as the beginning of everything. According to science, the alpine orogenesis, a natural and violent geological phenomenon created millions of years ago, the geographic relief from the Pyrenees to the Himalayas. Crete is one of the parts of this cosmogonic geological shaping. Famous for its antiquities, culture and biodiversity, Crete has another hidden treasure: its spectacular geological wealth. The geological structure of the island is characterized by rocks, most of which are the remains of sediments that fell in the Ocean of Tethys, an ancient sea that has been limited to the current Mediterranean. Large groups of rocks were found to cover each other as successive blankets. These coverings, as they are called by geologists, created the mountain ranges that emerged from the Sea of Tethys. Psiloritis, the ancient Idi, meaning a wooded area, is the heart of Crete. The mountain range is long and narrow, with few peaks, the highest of which is 2,456 meters. The entire massif, from the southern foot at the Libyan Sea to the northern edge at the sea with the Thalea Mountains, and what is included in nature and human remnants, consists the Geopark of Psiloritis. The rocks of Crete are 60 to 70% carbonates in composition, limestones, dolomites and marbles. There are still volcanic and other rocks with different formation ages. Psiloritis hosts all rock groups, though limestones, dolomites and the marble dominate by 80%. A visitor in his various routes on the mountain follows an imaginary trip to the geological past of Crete, which can go back even up to 250 million years. As the rain passes through the atmosphere, it unites with the carbon dioxide, generating a weak acid which, although causes no problem in the vegetation, it dissolves just like the sugar the carbonate rocks. This, which is called karstic erosion, contributed to the formation of many shapes in the relief of Psiloritis. All surface cavities, which are constantly changing by this erosion, create plateaus and dolines. The isolation of Crete contributed to the Psiloritis massif to become one of the most important habitats with high biodiversity and indigenous plants and animals of Greece. Today, 1,734 different self-sown kinds of plants have been recorded in Crete, 10% of which are indigenous, meaning they only grow in Crete and nowhere else in the world. Particularly important, however, are the animals which are host to the Geopark of Psiloritis. Here, the Cretan wildcat still survives, and the unique insectivorous mammal indigenous in Greece, the shrew mouse. Here also live many invertebrates, amphibians and reptiles of Crete, as well as most of the mammals of the island. Diverse species of birds are also host, the most important of which is the harrier eagle, an endangered animal whose Cretan population is one of the few remaining in Europe. These special characteristics, together with the fact that in the 1,100 square kilometers that the geopark lies, all the wealth of the Cretan land is concentrated, contributed significantly to the incorporation of Psiloritis in the European network Natura 2000. This incorporation protects the sacred mountain of illegal human intervention, while it has been characterized a natural park and is part of the network of European geoparks. Certain areas of the geopark are characterized as wildlife sanctuaries, while many settlements have been named as traditional. In the mountainous zone of Psiloritis, the brushwood vegetation dominates, with low, pillow-shaped shrubs. In all seasons, visitors can admire some indigenous plants with beautiful flowers, such as crocuses, tulips, orchids, and more. Famous are also the herbs of Psiloritis: dittany or arondas, malotira, oregano, sage. The trees are limited due to the excessive grazing and high altitude. However, in some concavities, gorges, and small plateaus, unique forest ecosystems are scattered. Above the lake of Votomos in Zaros, in the south of Psiloritis, the most important forest of Rouvas lies. Its ecological and aesthetic value is great. This is why 80% of its stretch has been characterized as a wildlife refuge. Here, well-shaped holly abounds, which is unique in Europe, in its arborescent shape and the extent of land it covers. There are also maples, pines, cypresses, and others. Across the wide valley in the southwest of Zominthos, a wonderful wooded area has been formed over the last 30 to 40 years. The place here is dominated by oaks, asphenthami, and trichoches, the crategus of the Minoans. In front of the archaeological site of Zominthos, visitors can admire an unusually large perennial trichochia of 12 meters in height. This special tree has been characterized as a natural monument by the Ministry of Culture. Common trichoches are usually shrubs or small trees. The human presence in Psiloritis has left strong remnants of the remotest prehistoric times. In order to survive in the mountainous, arid and harsh landscape, man exploited, over time, the particular morphological characteristics. He was, in other words, based on what the ecosystems of the mountain offered to him. Economy was based mainly on farming and the cultivation of the minimum earth. The wealth of the place, in stone, wood, clay, helped to make outstanding artisans, craftsmen of stone and wood, well known, who perpetuate till today the cultural values of the Minoan era. Myths and history are ever present. Here, on the eastern slope of the Psiloritis, in Ideion Andron, Rhea gave birth to Zeus, who was nurtured by the goat Amalthea, while Curetes clanked their shields to cover up the cries of the little god. Ideion Andron has been for more than 40 centuries, until the 4th century AD, one of the greatest religious centers of the eastern Mediterranean world. Excavations, mainly by archaeologist John Sakelarakis, revealed that the cave was also the oracle, a meteorological center and workshop of knowledge. Halfway the route, Anoia Ideonandron, a well-preserved small Minoan palace, Zominthos, was revealed by the same archaeologist at the beginning of the 80s. Zominthos was the religious complement of Ideon Andron and at the same time an organized social, productive and cultural center. Visitors of Ideon Andron and Zominthos can complete their spiritual journey into the tens of myths and the history by visiting the excellent digital archaeological information center of Psiloritis in Anoia. Human communities that lived up to the 20th century in the areas surrounding the Geopark of Psiloritis wrote important pages in the history of Crete and left us great cultural legacies. Many churches in the area date back to the early Christian centuries. Monasteries are architectural monuments with great contribution to the national liberation struggles. Top monastery of Crete is Arcadi, the focus of the great Cretan Revolution of 1866 and a universal symbol of freedom in the Great Holocaust. In many villages of the Geopark, craftsmen of high aesthetics, such as the potters in Margarites and the organ players in various villages, continue the uninterrupted creation chain. Music, singing, folk songs and dancing have been timeless, distinguished and basic cultural expressions of the local communities in all regions of the Geopark. Because of the mild climate, the diversity of the natural environment and the historical and cultural wealth, the Geopark of Psiloritis is ideal for outdoor activities all year round. Here, guests, depending on their interests, can choose any time of the year to enjoy the pleasures offered by a little outing to the region. Hikers can follow superb paths around the Psiloritis through the European Path E4. Climbers, especially the ones who are interested in the geological phenomena, cultural monuments, antiquities, musical traditions, caving and gorges, everyone who seeks specialized forms of tourism will find them here. So nowadays, a serious infrastructure net with traditional accommodation has been created, offering hostels, dining places, visiting farms, small conference rooms and others, which offer modern services and traditional hospitality. In such accommodation, guests can acquire unique experiences of the fabulous dishes of the region and even take part themselves in their preparation. In winter, in the chimney corner, they can hang pork strips marinated in vinegar and then smoked with sage to make the local apaki. Guests will also experience the entire circle of cheese making by local farmers, meaning just how various types of pure and delicious cheese is produced by milk. They can also participate in the production process by distilling the grapes of the local Cretan drink, the raki. Fine, delicious products that the land of Psiloritis generously offers are the basis of the Cretan diet, which is considered the healthiest in the world, the sincere traditional hospitality, and the healthy diet close for the guest a unique circle of authentic experience. The Psiloritis Geopark is an open, rich in information, knowledge, and teaching methods book with a variety of interesting chapters. Guests, individuals, in groups, families, or organized groups can see, observe, think, find out, and be entertained each season of the year. In information centers, as well as in small museums, the visitor will complete the circle of knowledge offered by the communication of the Geopark. A major role in education, information, and awareness of youngsters of all levels of education and of teachers and professors plays the Center of Environmental Education in Anoia, which has been operating since 2006. Important roles in promoting and disseminating the values of the Geopark play the publishing and scientific initiatives of the development company accompany, Psiloritis, and the Natural History Museum of the University of Crete. When visitors complete their visit to the Geopark of Psiloritis, they will feel rejuvenated, happy, and satisfied with the variety of the unique experiences they gained. So, they leave lighter in a way, richer with fresh memories and renewed feelings, and certainly with a more consolidated faith that the geoplaces, the geoparks, the nature surrounding us is our big house, a precious legacy that we deserve to meet, to enjoy, and to protect.